quick thanks to Rocket Money for sponsoring this video. More on them later. All right, we're back. A little late, but better late than never, right? 11:45, the title threw me off. Wildfire in Forest Sector 2, Branch Route 8. It's like very obscure. But either way, cover story, right? The two characters that I cared about, I mean, I care about Ulti for the most part. I didn't care about anybody else that was kidnapped. But Ulti, she's happy that Page 1 is alive. I gotta say this. There was a 0% chance, 0%, that Page 1 was gonna die in a cover story. 0%. So, you know, I build up the suspense, but I did not think Page 1 was going to die at all. So Ulti, she's happy Pepe's okay. Yamato's is there looking at it. Not looking at it, but, you know, she's there. Retainers. They're going to be her retainers. I mean, I've mentioned this before. They are technically her siblings. You know, go back and catch that. But cover story is moving along. Now let's get to the chapter. All right, let's talk about money for a minute. I found out I was still paying for some apps I hadn't used in years, draining my account every month without me even noticing. It's ridiculous how these things pile up. That's where today's sponsor, Rocket Money, steps in. It's a personal finance app that helps you manage subscriptions, lower bills, and build a custom budget all in one spot. Over 5 million people are using it, and I've been loving it too. It's not just some gimmick, it's a real tool to help you get your finances under control. But here's how it works. Rocket Money scans your accounts and lists every subscription you've got running. You see it all right there. And if it's something you don't want, like that old app I forgot about, you cancel it in just a few taps. They might even try to get your refund on some of that lost cash. Then there's the bill negotiation part, okay? It scans your bills like the internet or phone, and their team goes to work trying to negotiate a better rate for you. No more sitting on hold with customer service just wasting your day. I've used it to knock off a few bucks off of my internet bill, and it's legit. But now let's talk budgeting and saving. Rocket Money builds you a custom budget in seconds. It shows you exactly where your money is going, it tracks your spending, and flags your top categories so you know what's eating your cash. I used to track my spending mentally on paper. It was a mess. Rocket Money makes it simple. No stress, no hassle. And you can see it all in the app. Subscriptions, bills, budgets, goals. But if this sounds good to you, go to rocketmoney.com/BDA to get started for free. Over 5 million people are on this. So join them. Click the link in the description, look at the screen, you can see it right there, and start saving money today. This is like real actionable steps you can take to saving money, right? Now let's get back to the video. This chapter, man, it's sectional, okay? It's one of those that you have so many different parts, and parts are way more interesting than others. And it feels like a typical One Piece chapter, but there's so many things that you can pull from and create entire scenarios. Oda just gives us like bits and pieces of things we really care about in this chapter. And he does that. He's done it before. It's not the first time. Not a groundbreaking chapter by any means, but he gives a lot without giving a lot. What do I mean? Also, real quick before I talk about that, a lot of the decisions that I thought was peculiar is starting to make sense now, why they happened. For instance, Sanji being here with Luffy and Zoro. Felt a bit odd. Sanji just hopped on the ship and came with them. Right? It was like, why? Why Sanji come? But now, with Sanji here, with the scenario happening with Gunko at the end of the chapter, you don't have that person that is an obvious negative. Not saying Sanji's a negative, I'm saying he doesn't hit women. So you remove Sanji from that situation altogether. You have Jinbei, Nami, Brook, Usopp. It creates an interesting dynamic, especially knowing Gunko and the possible gag. Well, we'll get to that. So Sanji being here, well, let's have a callback. Let's have a callback to Thriller Bark. Sanji launching Zoro and having an attack on Queen. I mean the dream thing, the dream dinosaur thing. Zoro didn't need that, but it's like, it's cool, it's fun. And here's the thing, bro. I think we've gotten way too serious with some of this stuff, bro. Like at the end of the day, it's One Piece, right? We got to just take it in stride. There are things we're going to care about, there are things we're not going to care about as much, but we just got to chill. I'm seeing so many more takes about trivial stuff that really bother people. And it's like, bro, what are we doing, man? Right? And there's parts of this chapter that I didn't love, that I didn't necessarily care for, but I understand it's necessary. But I'm not going to hate the chapter for it. And so I feel like we just got to get back to just having fun, having a good time, right? So we just got to chill. Some people are just taking this way too seriously sometimes. Like, why would you say that? Da-da-da. Oh, relax. So anyway, they take down the dreams on their end, and now we're into discussion time, right? Just throwing out bits and pieces of information that Oda knows is going to make us think. He knows that, right? What threw me off was Goldberg's shield. It threw me off. So I was like, okay, that's weird, obviously. And in the midst of everything, it's not when you consider One Piece. But in the moment, it's like, okay, that's weird. Why is the shield talking and moving? Find out. That shield was a part of an expedition to go vanquish Big Mom. So obviously the shield got turned into a homie. Something we talked about with Big Mom in the past was how she would fight. And we have in our mind how Big Mom should fight. And then the reality of it is she doesn't fight that way. And she's severely limited, even considering her abilities. right? Even considering her abilities, still limited. Now, one thing we always talked about with Big Mom was she has a broken ability that she can turn basically anything into a homie. So even enemies' weapons, right? Enemies' artillery, enemies' abilities. Technically, Big Mom should be able to turn them into homies and then use them against them. Of course, we're all fresh off of solo level, where basically you can use your enemies, the vanquished enemies, against current enemies. It felt like that's something Big Mom should have an ability to spam, especially if something is non-living, right? She should be able to do that, like spam it. Of course, she has limited souls because versus Marco, I didn't have enough. So Oda limits her, but in theory, things like this should happen more often. I'm talking about like just homies just around based on her power. Either way, I like the fact they talked about that. Another thing is that they went to vanquish Big Mom. That's a huge talking point. Why? I mean, I know why. They hate Big Mom, right? They probably hate Big Mom. Maybe not more than they hate Loki, but it's pretty close. Sent a party to vanquish her. Obviously, they failed because Big Mom is still alive. I'm assuming that the timeline, you got to try to think about it. At some point, they were trying to arrange a marriage, right? The vanquishing, I'm assuming, happened after that. I'm assuming. But there's a lot of Big Mom just things here. Not mentions necessarily. This is an obvious mention, but hints where I'm like, I would like for her to be here, not because I need to see her power or anything like that or a character. It's more so towards character and needing that to come full circle, finding out what she did and kind of growing in the place that it all kind of fell apart. It feels more and more plausible, but then at the end of the day, Elbaf seems to be progressing at a rate that I'm not sure how close we are to the ending. I'm not sure if we have our main antagonists here yet. Is it going to be the God Knights? Does someone else show up? So those are things I'm thinking about that could possibly change the entire view of Elbaf. But Big Mom certainly would do that. Not as a threat, not even as an enemy, just as a character to wrap up that story. And it's becoming more and more likely. However, see, Loki talks about the Holy Knights. I don't know. The Holy Knights, they're a very interesting group. I don't know what to make of them. Someone said I should view the Holy Knights as an elite squad, that they only come out when it's absolutely necessary. So they are the elites of the elites. And in my head, okay, that makes sense. But then this is One Piece, where you're only as strong as you need to be, ultimately. And so for the God Knights, I'm trying to wrap my mind around, okay, how formidable can these three, Gunko, Somers, and Killingham, how formidable can they be for me as the reader to care about this threat? So far, not that much, right? The ultimate threat in my mind was Shamrock, because I think he was on another level in comparison to these three. So now he's gone, presumably, right? He could still be here, but it feels like probably gone. I'm asking to be convinced, because currently I'm not. Loki's still recovering, and he's talking about the God Knights, saying they're the people who beat me badly, right? And, they're like, well, Loki, you probably did something. It has to be you. Loki's like, listen, if I wasn't stopped by Shanks, I'd be king of the world by now, which is interesting because king of the world is something that, as far as we know, only one person wanted that title, king of the world. That was Zebek. So that's a hint. So Loki has dreams and aspirations, right? Come to find out, Loki and Zebek, well, there are actually some ties there. Before that, I want to acknowledge cool character interactions, Loki, Luffy, even the Giants, where Luffy's legitimately trying to help Loki recover by feeding him, by giving him soup. And he's doing these things and he's literally making it worse. And everyone that hates Loki, they're just enjoying it. Like, that's what you get. And Luffy's like, oh, my bad. Like, I'm just trying to look out for you, partner. And Loki's like, don't, just leave me alone. And it's a cool moment, right? And I think it builds just our affinity with Loki as a character. Because there have been perceptions. Obviously, the Giants have a certain perception, but he didn't feel like the main antagonist. Doesn't feel like a good guy, but doesn't necessarily feel like a bad guy. So now we're having these small, jovial moments with him and Luffy. And finding out even more about him, I'm starting to respect Loki even more. So I'm all aboard the Loki train, man. I'm with him. I'm with whatever he did. Let's go. I love the tie-in here, right? It's so subtle. But using red hair as a bridge to Zebek is genius. Because it goes back saying, hey, dude, you don't really know what red hair is. He's like, nah, dude, you really want to meet him that badly? He's like, well, I know how it feels to look up to a pirate as a lad. Right? He's like, I get it, bro. I know what it feels like to be that guy looking up to a pirate. I'm like, wait, hold on. What are you talking about? Flashback. Loki says it's unfortunate that he was a boy at the time Zebek showed up. And he had a Luffy moment with Zebek where he looked up to Zebek that much, saying, take me with you. And Zebek, I mean, there's a perception out there about this guy, man, and he's not helping that perception at all, right? To me, I look at it a little differently because I thought Zebek was very powerful. With this chapter, I'm like, okay, there's a level to his strength that we definitely need to respect. That's how I feel about it. Loki said, fight me, bro. And listen, asking somebody to fight you, that's fighting words that you really got to back it up. You can't ask somebody to fight you, and I don't care how old you are, right? If a little kid say, yo, Brago, fight me, I'm like, what's up? I probably won't say that. But I'm saying, in this pirate world, asking a man to fight you, Zebek looked at him like, this little... Say less. Right? And he beat... and he beat his ass. And he didn't only beat his ass, he used a blade on this kid, right? And that interaction between him and Whitebeard, it feels like Whitebeard was the first mate. I mean, it makes sense because Whitebeard was the strongest pirate of all time. At this point, not including Zebek, you don't know. But how he talked to Whitebeard, this is Primebeard, by the way, said, shut up, Newgate, which there's a level of respect there from Whitebeard to take that. Now, I'm not saying they were the prototypical crew, but there's a level of respect. There's a hierarchy involved. Zebek probably was him, is him. And there's no mercy. I mean, he didn't kill him, but he used a blade on a child, which shows that he's not like Roger or Shanks. He's like, bro, I don't play those games. I'll cut you. So, you know, whatever it is, it had a positive impression. It left a positive impression on Loki because he's like, I was born in the wrong era, right? Sounds like Roger, but that's the respect level is going up because he's a true pirate, a true adventurer, seeking something. He's ambitious, not like his bum brother. I'm joking. Because he has great aspirations and goals as well. He's just, you know, just stuck in a world with just people that are better than him. It's unfortunate. Either way, I think this is all very interesting. The fact that Loki met Zebek, and I think it's just so perfect that Oda has the giants and the years and age, all these different things to make it plausible. To make it plausible that Loki, as a kid, can meet him while still being a young man because, of course, giant years. What does this mean? Where does this go? This is solely, I think, not solely, mostly for Loki's development or characterization more than anything, but also it's Oda dripping in hints of the Rocks Pirates. Now we're understanding, okay, there's no chance of a Buggy moment being this, right? There's no way Buggy's saying this to Mihawk. He cut his nose off, right? Or even Crocodile. Shut up, Newgate? Okay, now you have my attention, right? And then it gives us more of his demeanor. It's getting dripped out to us. So we're getting more of his demeanor. Zebek, no nonsense guy. No nonsense. Where even if a kid challenges me, I'm going at you. But that's something that you have to respect. I think for a lot of us, let's think about some of your favorite athletes, right? They're amazing on the pitch, on the court, on the field, wherever. But some of them are just dicks, right? You hear about stories of whatever. You're like, damn, like you don't seem like a good person. But damn, I like watching you play, but whatever the sport is. Zebek seems to be that guy where it's like, maybe not the best person, but as a pirate, as a leader, as a man, gotta respect it. So that's what it's giving us from that perspective. And I need more. And he knows that. That's why he cut it so short. I was born in the wrong era. That leads to so many things for Loki that we'll talk about in another video. But Loki is shaping up to be exactly who I thought he was. I'm here for it. The other part of the chapter, while it's not as interesting, you understand the importance of it because of how it ended where Gunko just showed up in front of the other Straw Hats. It is the resolution of this fire thing, right? The fire thing that admittedly, I don't care much about, but I understand why it's important. You have Scopper there in the showcase, Jinbei doing his thing, right? Saul just looking befuddled, right? Somers laughing, right? That kid's about to die, just laughing. I like Somers a lot. Not saying that I support his views, but I respect. I like him, all right? I like the guy. Listen, bro, what's wrong with a few casualties? You know, let's up the stakes a little bit, you know? But Gunko really growing on me. I had somebody ask, could she be a Straw Hat? And at first I was like, bro, what? But then like, either way, I think Gunko is going to be a very important character and bridge a gap between the God Knights and our group. I think so. Now, people point out her goggles. They're like the revolutionaries. Is she a Ginny clone, et cetera, et cetera. Bro, when she first showed up back then, I said, yo, that's Ginny. Obviously not Ginny, but like, what if, right? Ginny, what if this girl isn't, or, okay, Bonnie, per se, right? She was a result of experimentation. I'm trying to pass along devil fruit powers without eating the devil fruit, etc. She's successful. What if Gunko is the same way, right? Where she could be related to Ginny. Maybe she's the first experiment, right? Who knows? Either way, she feels familiar. She feels like she's supposed to be familiar. So, you know, I could talk about and walk you through everything that happened in the second half of the chapter. I don't think it's as interesting. You read it. We read it. We saw what happened. They put out the damn fire. Okay, there's small character moments that we can highlight, like Jinbei. Oda has nothing for Jinbei to do, right? He's a firefighter now. I'm playing. He's the helmsman. But I'm saying though, right? I'm saying it's resolution. It's something that has to happen. Now in this moment, Gunko showing up. I mean, the others I'm not worried about, but can she restrain Jinbei? If she restrains Jinbei, it puts a whole new light on the God Knights. Now I'm looking at them differently. I'm here for it. Another key point, okay? Another key point. And I think for these reviews, we're not just going to recap everything. We all read it. We're going to point out important things. Another key point, Scopper. He says, a trio of abnormal voices. Now, Japanese translation, abnormal could just mean strange to the island. Like, I recognize everybody else's voice. These three are strange. Abnormal could also mean in the midst of all these voices, these three voices stand out to be different among all of us. Even if it's beyond strange, it's abnormal. The God Knights, is there something else to them? Or is it just strange because they're not supposed to be in Elbaf and he recognizes that? So he also mentioned something, feels like Ragnarok, saying if even Elbaf isn't safe anymore, it's the end times, right? Like, it's almost like saying if buying groceries isn't even affordable anymore, it's the end times. Like, you know, people just say, yo, stop eating out, go buy groceries and cook. It's expensive. Everything is, eggs? We about to get some chickens and have these chickens run around and be like Tamago, right? Pop some eggs out. Either way, good chapter, necessary chapter, very important information sprinkled in. Oda knows what he's doing. Give me your thoughts, guys. Like the video, subscribe. Let me know how you feel. And follow me on Twitter, BrockDace. Follow me on Instagram, BrockD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys all so much. You guys hold it down. Reactions coming. Again, Last of Us is back. Windbreaker Season 2. Watching the Become Hero X. Lazarus. So many different things. Check it out. Dragon Ball. One Piece is back. The anime. All there. Link below. Thank you guys so much. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.